Hey, BC here, doing an update on Jason Smith's story. Wanted to address the president at this point because this is sickening. 33,000 and no comments, no breaking news. It amazes me how a white woman can get slammed by the police and it'll hit the news in 3 to 4 weeks. And when it comes to a black woman who was violated by the police in her home on 92nd and Broadway, this woman was dead in the hands of the police, and we hear nothing of this. It seems like the more that the Jason Smith story is getting closer and closer to the light, the more and more police brutality there are. So this message technically is for the president, Mr. Barack Obama. Uh, I wonder why you haven't addressed the black issue at this point. I understand politically speaking that the Hispanics had their time. Of course, you're supposed to give the ranchers and the farmers back their land. But what about those blacks who fought for generations and generations to come down and realize that, in fact, the Southern never separated from the Northerners. In fact, they just collaborated. Isn't that what the Democrat Party is and the Republican Party is? Isn't that what you and Rami was speaking on about who views you go off? You go off of Bill Clinton views. He go off of Ronald Reagan views. So technically, you guys never really stopped slavery. It just became one. So it not only become a physical but a mental bondage on the black community. Jason Smith was 14 years old and was murdered last year by the Klan. Mind you, there's people on this YouTube that are speaking about it. I mean, hello, is anybody in the political world not realizing that social media is taking over? That there's a lot of stories, and out of the black community, this is the major story ever. And so it's time that somebody take focus into these type of stories. I mean, Emmett Till, let's be real, he didn't even get a monument. His mom died fighting for him to have a monument. And then you have Jason Smith's father who has cancer, eye off before they help you. So my main concern, my main question is, when is the black community going to be able to have a chance to get their land back? You say 40 acres and a mill, you send us to Los Angeles with a 40 ounce and a pet bull, knowing that this is a native land. Native technically is Indians and the Spanish. So, it's hard to keep living and understanding at the age of 25 that racism never did stop. In fact, you don't give a damn about black people. And it's sad because racism, we've been asked to be this color. We didn't come from the womb of the earth and say we wanted to be black, brown, blue. I mean, even if we did, I wouldn't change who I am. But the point being is that, no one has the right to kill anyone because of their race. And it started in the South, then needs to end in the South. My father has cancer, and it's sad because the state robbed him and raped him of his 14-year-old son. And rape doesn't necessarily have to be a physical thing. Rape can just be a mental thing. Just took the knowledge of your child and basically said that it's no more of it. And so what? Who cares? And everybody should care because this is not just Jason Smith. You have Emmett Till and 90%. So pay attention that 90% of these deaths in the South are because they're black children. They don't do nothing, but because they're black. And it's time for us as a people, not just black, because at this point every race has been harassed by the Klan, not just black people, especially black people, but not mainly black people. As taxpayers, all of us as a people have been raped and robbed by the government. We paying and for all these high-priced foods, all these high-priced clothes with very little income with a job. So it's not like we're, living in times where the money is good and things are low. We're living in a time where money's high, we all struggling, and you got racism at an all-time high in 2012 between the blacks and the browns, and even the black on black. So you can't even say that racism, black people can't be racist because you be racist against each other, and it's sad. It's self-hatred, and we have that all over. But just as much as we have bad black people, we have good black people. As much as we have bad white people, we have good white people. It is an ignorant mind that singles out the people. It is a blessed and wise mind that accepts those that do wrong and those that do good. Because two wrongs don't make it right, it just make it even. But try putting a positive over that negative. No matter how big the negative is, because God is in the midst of it, it's always going to come out a bigger and better and a positive number. So, just real quickly, just to let you know, it's time for all to unite. All those that have been harassed by the Klan. All those that have been fighting and struggling, who's lost their family in police brutality and things of that nature. It's time to stand. It's time to be real with yourself. You have a mission. You know, God say Adam came from the hot fiery clay. So from the womb we left shall the room we shall return. And the symbolism is so easy because the woman is always pregnant and birth forth a new life. And it's time that we as a people either birth forth something positive or birth forth something negative. And the only way we can get past that is to start uniting as one on every level. You know, this is the Aquarius year, so you can't lie because you're going to be exposed whether you're lying or not. Whether you real or fake, it's going to come out. And it's coming to a point where people got to understand it's starting to be a Mason world. It's you know, Jason parents are Mason, PHAs. So you need to understand that what's real and what's fake, what's the devil and what's not. And it's all part of a mission. And to get there, you must pass the test. And the test is racism. And the question that arises in the racist community will be, what do we do with a story like Jason Smith, Trayvon Martin, Emmett Till? These are black people. There's many, many more. Kendrick McDay, Devin Brown. We can name them and keep going. These are kids. And there's no monument in remembrance. There's no nothing. So what I'm asking President Barack Obama to do is, please pick up our issues. Please pick up and understand that at the end of the day, you're still a black man in a black body with a black wife and some black kids. And it's not fair that we as a people have to deactivate our children's minds from being loving and sharing because we taught our kids that sharing is caring. So now we have to deactivate that caring mind and to teach them to hate because of our race. You know, racism, it can start up a lot of categories. It can go from racism to bullying. Bullying can go from racism, gangbanging can go from racism to bullying. And this is an issue that needs to be addressed, and it's an issue that needs to be brought up and needs to be handled at hand. And I promise you, as sure as my name is BC, this will not be the last that you hear from me. In the meantime, I ask that the people unite and stop being so racist on these comments. That the Jason Smith story wasn't to hurt anybody. It was to have y'all wake up and say we're all not like that, and to say that Klan member and this Christianity. You're right. You don't believe in Jesus, and you don't believe that he's black, more so and it's more so the Romans, the Catholics, the Greeks. But we're not gonna go there because it's neither here nor there. But this is the update coming at you live. BC, E-Star, keeping it real, asking for justice for Jason Smith. You can contact me at 562-616-4018. I'm gonna be it.